just talking about
Anti-heroes?
Yes, sir.
Why, did you count Joker as an anti-hero?
Sure.
I didn't.
Kind of.
He wasn't.
He was.
He didn't do
A
anything. He killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, well.
Innocent people.
Well,
Anti-heroes don't do that.
Innocent.
Well, Robert De Niro was a talk show host.
No. I'm talking about the guys he killed originally.
That doesn't... No! We're talking about the whole movie.
Well, I was just talking... Not all of them were.
You know what? That's going to be a movie. I'm gonna put that as part of this. That movie, The Joker, is a movie that had potential.
Really?
You know why?
Yeah.
Because if they didn't do the whole Batman attachment thing, I think it would have been a better movie.
But it's not...
Well, hold on. I know.
I
but
love that part.
Originally, it was sold as a psychological kind of study of the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would have been so much better if we focused more on the character and not about Thomas Wayne or like Bruce Wayne, that kind of thing.
I see what you're saying, but I think that would be a good episode, and it'd be an excuse to get that guy on here because he wants to do it.
Okay. But all I'm saying is that's going to be
fun
part
to talk about. Also, maybe not anti-heroes. Movies wins hates.
Oh, man. Where do I start? DC stuff?
Well,
all of them.
Well, I was just thinking anti-heroes because one of his favorite movies is also Judge Dredd. And he's kind of an anti-hero.
Nightcrawler's an anti-hero.
Yeah. He loves that movie.
I
He likes
love that
Uncut
movie.
Gems. That's
also an
his
anti-hero.
favorite.
Yeah.
So he really likes anti-heroes. So I was like,
Deadpool's also an anti-hero.
So, but hello everyone. We're the Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
I'm Logan.
Nope, that's Win. And we're back with another episode of the Continuity Crew podcast, episode 2. We're talking about movies that had potential.
Yes.
Whether that mean they were just bad, they were missing something, like the plot was there. I don't know. How else would you define a movie that had potential? When
the story was changed middle of the production.
would you consider Suicide Squad?
Or I guess original screenplay probably was great, but then studio was like, no, you can't do that. And no, Suicide Squad
Doesn't
was
count?
not. No,
I
because
don't know.
that movie. First of all, that movie had a director that was incompetent.
Yeah,
He didn't understand the material. He was just told that you need to make a movie that's exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy
yeah.
and make it fun and make it.
But apparently it wasn't like the original one wasn't like the he made the Ayer cut.
The Ayer cut, yeah.
It has like no grounds. I feel like compared to the Snyder cut. So
yeah, that's true. See, the thing about the Ayer cut thing was like he just kind of went along with it.
yeah,
He was just kind of like, the movie has heart. The movie is great. It was these fans. All their criticisms are ass and they're really stupid. And it's like
it's fine.
the movie hasn't even come out yet. But either way,
let's see. Let's talk about where do we want to start? I'll start with my DC one, and we're gonna go back a little bit. You said you did more recent.
yeah.
But I wanted to do this one because I know we have another one coming, and I believe it's produced by Jamie Foxx, but Spawn, 1997.
Oh boy, Spawn. I think I've seen that.
It's
my
really
God.
bad.
Yeah.
It's
I remember
really
the CGI
bad.
being bad.
Yeah, it's not good. But like, okay, it's the year's 1997, so of course the CGI is kind of bad. But they are redoing this at some point. I'm gonna see if I can find something on it. But I just think I love that movie.
It's on HBO Max.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think the show is also on there too. But it's just I love Spawn for one. He just looks cool. I've never read a comic book to be honest of Spawn, but like his character just looks badass, so I've always liked Spawn.
Closer to Mike.
But otherwise, like he's just cool, and
He's a cool character.
It's
I will say
African American lead, so that's. I mean, that for the time, that's kind of a big deal.
It was Jamie Foxx.
No.
No, the
He's
new
like
one's Jamie
producing.
Oh, okay.
I think for the new one, I believe.
I get what you mean.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh no, wait. He may actually be in it. Yeah, and Jeremy Renner's apparently already casted in it as well. So it's That one, I don't know about. The old one, it's got some style to it. It reminds me of a lot of The Crow. It's like anti-hero kind of like,
Yeah.
and it's so 90s and just grungy.
Yeah.
And like, I probably have a little bit of soft spot for that since The Crow is one of my favorite movies. And it's not that good either. But this is like, The Crow's the better version of Spawn.
Yeah. I can't say much about it because I don't think I've seen it.
That
like,
villain
seen
sucks because it's like a clown.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. But like, it's pretty comic accurate, I believe, from what I know.
Yeah, I think that was back then. They were so focused on comic accuracy.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, because I'll get to my Marvel one, but like, go ahead and with you, one of yours.
One of mine, I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. This one, very recent, and we've talked a lot about it in previous videos, like even in like other videos. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Hate to say it, but Mortal Kombat has such a diverse character list. It could have been so much better if you do it in kind of chapters. Even if you do like a chapter 1 with like Scorpion or something, or Sub-Zero, I think it would have been great if they leaned into the whole not lore per se, but originality, having originality. I think it would have been so much better. But the one we got, they were like, let's just have some fun. Let's f*** around.
Well, do you think, because you love saying it, do you think it would have been better as a TV show?
No, I don't think, no.
Wow.
Probably not.
One, did you ever watch the animated, like the Scorpion?
No, but it's on my list.
You should watch it, because honestly, that's what it should have been.
Yeah.
But maybe a little more fleshed out, but still, it was a lot better than the movie.
Just anything's a lot better than the
true.
movie. I don't even know if the original one's a lot better than this one.
That's true.
Have they not learned their lesson from the previous ones? Like, did they not like take a look at that and was like, okay, this is what we shouldn't do? Because like, if you take out like, again, this is out of nowhere, but if you take out like Spider-Man, they had 2 franchises technically. And even the recent Spider-Man ones that were kind of like, maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we shouldn't have so many like Spider-Man swinging through the city. Like, we shouldn't have Ben Parker's death on there,
because they know the story.
Yeah, they know
stuff. I mean, and like Warner could learn from that, because I'm sure we're gonna get maybe Batman's origin and the Flash coming out, because we've got 2 Batman. So of course, like let's hash that out again.
That's gonna be
definitely Mortal Kombat. I would agree 100%. We had fun because we watched it in 40x, but otherwise you're like, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that was goddamn awful. Like, it had a good actor, like that the Japanese guy at the very beginning. Like, that would have been so good to see him just kind of do something with that.
And even he's Sub-Zero though, his character too. Like, he seemed cool. Like, his backstory, I want to know more. Like, it was there, but it didn't follow through, which is going to be almost every movie.
Their costumes also could have been so much better.
Agreed.
They look goofy as hell. Like, I don't care if you CGI it, because like if you take like Falcon's like costume, his face was kind of CGI, because like the thing with the mask would like I don't know what you call it, but they could have just done that. Like, they could have just made it a little slimmer.
Maybe they didn't want to invest that much budget, but also I would agree the costumes, like in the games, they're much more vibrant at least. And of course it's live action, so normally they dull things down. Like, I feel like that's a common thing with live action, like they dull it down. But I don't know, I agree.
And you could have spent so much time on the story too, because like first of all, no one asked for this movie.
True.
Second of all, no one knows the lore for any of these characters. At least there's a few characters in there where you're kind of like, oh, I know where that person's come from.
The main character is an original character.
Yeah. So you can definitely create an original story background for these characters, but they didn't do that. They just relied on making money, and honestly, it kind of failed on them. Yeah. Surprising. Well, not really surprising. But as before, I was kind of like, yeah, this movie's kind of shit.
Yeah. So I'm going to get my Marvel one out of the way.
Go for it.
It's not in the MCU.
Oh, wow.
It's one of the legacy movies.
Daredevil. Oh, no.
No, that's I don't know. Daredevil's actually kind of all right. It's better than Elektra was. I don't know if you ever saw the Elektra movie, but that one was really good.
Electra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Oh yeah.
Silver Surfer.
Oh yeah.
Such a cool character.
It is, and
First
they did a
one-
really good job in that one too.
Yeah.
I really like that.
In the first Fantastic Four, not like a good movie. It could hold its own, honestly, probably in the MCU.
Yeah.
But they really failed with that one. They made Galactus a cloud.
They had a lot of advertising on there. They made it
They
look like a
did.
race car, the suits.
They did. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. A
Yeah,
race car
he
driver.
like Johnny has like the
Yeah, and then like they did the flying car.
Mhm.
What was it? Built by Dodge or whatever. It was like a Dodge logo on there. I remember
there's
that.
just it. I haven't watched it in forever, but even as a kid, where like the movies I wanted to see most were superhero movies, even before like MCU and all that. So bad. I was like, that's tough. And like even the commercials, I remember that's one of the first movies I think I could say like all the like funny bits were in the commercials.
Yeah.
And so I could see them coming. And like another one of those was, I don't know if you ever saw this movie, but I think it was called Nim's Island or something.
I don't remember.
Something Island. But like it's a kids movie and all the funny bits are in the commercials and it was advertised the hell out of. So you would have seen them. And then like the rest of the movie's dark and just boring. So that's another one I could add to the list. It had potential, but sucked.
Yeah, that Fantastic Four was so like the Silver Surfer one. I like the Silver Surfer in that one. It had Doug Jones. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a guy behind the mask, basically. He was in Shape of Water. He was the fish.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then he was the guy in Hellboy, the blue guy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he's like the man behind the mask, and they had a great voice for him. I don't remember who he was, but I think it was Simba.
No.
I don't think so either. I don't remember.
But yeah.
It had great potential. Stan Lee showed up as Stan Lee.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
I think that was the very first time.
2007, man. Wow. That's a year before the MCU.
That is.
And then we had Iron Man, which was really good.
Yeah, so yeah, I see. Yeah, this movie, Fantastic Four. It's so, man, I can't believe they had
Lawrence
Galactus.
Fishburne.
Lauren Fishburne.
So close. You were saying defining voice, African American.
It sounded
actor.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember it being sounding good. That's all I could think of. But yeah, I didn't even know it was Galactus until like maybe a few years ago.
Me either. Like I was as a kid, I'm like, okay, a space cloud, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I probably didn't even know who Galactus was then. But later on, I'm like, oh, that was supposed to be that guy?
Yeah.
That sucks. So Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. Excited for the new one they're gonna do with Spider-Man director, whatever.
I can't remember his name either.
John Watts.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Are we gonna get a John Krasinski?
I
Apparently he's in talks or something. I
Yeah.
don't fucking know.
maybe. I doubt. Emily Blunt, I doubt, but John Krasinski probably.
I can see Keanu Reeves being. No, never mind.
They've talked to Keanu a lot.
A
I
lot,
think he
yeah.
said no to a lot of stuff too,
Yeah.
though. But
Yeah.
Fantastic Four. What about what's your next?
This one, it's kind of out of pocket.
Yeah.
The Nun.
The Nun. Yes.
So much potential.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I remember being like, okay, this is out of the Warrens. They're not in control with this. They had nothing to do with this, but they do have somewhat to do with it. And it was like it looked like a classic kind of horror where it was like creepy castle, nun religious related shit, and like it's like in this exotic area that we've never seen before. It had some really cool like character design, like the nun, for example.
Yeah.
But in that movie, I
It's just
still
bad,
don't
dude.
understand what the nun's point was. Like not the main character, but the creepy nun.
I don't know, dude.
Like she was like, I think she got
Oh,
released,
yeah.
right? And then she was supposed to take bodies or whatever, but she already took the nuns' bodies, like every single nun in there. So what is she still doing? Like, why is she not like roaming around Earth? Oh, and also, how did she get from there to the Warrens? I guess she attached herself like during that farmer thing at the very end.
Yes,
like that.
because like it somehow gets to their painting or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it attaches to the Warrens or something, if I remember, and like he paints it.
So I'm gonna guess that's gonna be the next Conjuring movie.
Which one?
The nun with the nun. Because apparently that's how Mr. Warren dies or not.
Oh no,
like
well
in-
that's what they did, and that was Conjuring 2. Was like how we led up to the Nun.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I see what you mean.
The next one will either the Crooked Man, which is probably dead in the water. There was always rumors of a werewolf one, which I would still love to see, even if it wasn't based on a true story. Like I would love to see that.
Oh, there's a lot of stories about them going to England.
Yeah.
and
So
werewolves and
we'll
stuff
see.
like that.
We'll see.
Sherlock Holmes did one of those, like the one with
That's a
Benedict
good one.
Cumberbatch.
I won't talk about that one, but Sherlock Holmes 2, that had potential. It's kind of rough.
I don't remember it all that well.
It's I don't know. The first one was so cool and stylized, and like there's some really cool shots, probably better than like there's that scene where they're like running through the woods. And
I know
there's
what you're talking about,
bullets, yeah. But otherwise it was pretty rough. Anything else about the Nun?
Man, the priest really dumb.
Yeah.
Could have gotten rid of that. But overall, I think the character design was great. Having what's her name, Vera Farmiga's sister in there.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. They could have done something with that. You know, it'd have been
Yeah, that's
interesting if it
true.
was like a distant cousin or some shit like that. The the fucking Vatican being all secretive and shit, being like MI6.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, we're gonna send you there. Go investigate.
And it really sucks because I was so excited for that movie. I had watched the first 2 Conjurings and all the Annabelles very recently leading up to the Nun. And I was like excited to get the posters because I
Yeah.
worked at the theater. And then it was just ass. So
They should have done something really unexpected with the whole Jesus blood, where Jesus blood doesn't actually work.
yeah.
Oh yeah, she fucking she spit that shit out of her mouth
Yeah.
to the nun's face. I still don't get that. I don't understand that. What is? It would have been. It was just really. It would have been really funny if the Jesus blood didn't work.
That would have been.
Yeah.
It's like they've done that type of stuff in other movies. It's like we've got the thing that'll beat them, and then it doesn't.
It didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. My next one, I'm gonna put 2 together because they're both music related, and I'm gonna say this one I'll go quick over every like musician documentary like ever.
Mm. Yeah.
Like the Justin Bieber one, Billie Eilish. There was
God.
one for Michael Jackson. They always just feel so campy and set up, and that's all. Like I don't know.
Billie Eilish's wasn't, but I didn't like it because
I didn't like that one
Billie
either.
Eilish is kind of an asshole.
The Justin Bieber one, I will say, is kind of good, and Michael Jackson, I guess I'm a little young to
Understand?
understand the power like he had over culture and stuff, but I don't know. They always just feel so campy and fake and meh. But my other music one, and it was really popular, it won a lot of awards, but Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
It won best editing, and there was a scene where it was just back and forth between these 2 people talking and still cameras, everything. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And like Rami Malek, awesome, looks great. He does it. He deserved best actor, I'll say. The story isn't accurate. It's like it's romanticized and like.
Well, because I bet the true events would have been more boring though.
Well, yeah,
be honest with
absolutely.
you.
But it's like, just make it right. I don't know. Like we all know he died of AIDS. You don't have to make it romanticized that he tells them, "Oh, I have AIDS," right before the biggest performance. they
Oh,
ever
that
did.
part. Okay.
Or
I thought you were talking about other events. I was like,
that one's like the big one for me. And even I have a friend who's a huge Queen fan. I mean, I am too, but like he hates this movie with a passion. And whenever I first watched it, I was like, it's cool. I liked it and it's fun, but looking back at it and after watching it, it is kind of watching Rocket Man, the Elton John one.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's what it could have been.
Yeah.
And like the music and
The Elton John one was just cool.
yeah.
Because like if you saw the behind the scenes, he was floating and shit. And I was like, that's pretty sick. So yeah, this movie, Bohemian
Cats.
Rhapsody, this movie kind of I never really understood why people liked it so much at
it
first.
got a lot of hype.
It
really
did.
And like his performance is great. And I think that's honestly what carried it, and their music, of course. Like Queen, I love Queen, and it's everyone knows like "We Will Rock You," or at least even just the beat to it. So it was cool to see all that on screen and done almost like hand to hand, like the Live Aid concert that they did, but otherwise it's just kind of
Yeah, I never really saw that movie as something great, but it won a lot of awards, so I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Movie god awful.
Yeah, not great. And it won.
Yeah.
I think it's bitter. It's more bitter because like it won a lot of awards. Like I think it won sound mixing, and like it's good, and like it sounds like kind of like a real concert and when they're playing, but again, it's not like that's new, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too picky and bitter about it, but so
No, that's fair. I mean, Elton John, the Rocket Man one was way better.
And also like they really kind of strayed away from him being gay, and like Rocket Man leans more into that, and
they weren't afraid. Yeah,
it's more it is PG-13 to be fair. Rocket Man was R, which shouldn't really have anything to do with it, I guess, but still. But yeah, what's your next movie?
Ah, man, this one's gonna be controversial. People are gonna hate me for this. Quiet Place.
I would agree. I was looking at like just movies in the past 5 years to re-jog my memory, and like I saw that one, and I'm not surprised you had that on your list. I would agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it was cool. John Krasinski wrote it, did that, and directed it, did that, and had his wife do that, and it was like, that's pretty neat. But where it really falls short is the intensity of the movie, the kind of logic, the overall logic of the film. It's not because of like the aliens or anything like that. It's just the family itself and how they make decisions.
Yeah.
It's based on their decisions and the script writing. I thought it was great that they did the whole sign language thing. I thought that was a really good idea. But when they're talking back and forth, it was just kind of like
stale.
Yeah, very basic, very standard. Not a whole lot of like passion there. It had high praise, and that's what really surprised me. A lot of people
liked it, and like it got a second one, and we'll probably get a third. But yeah, it was tough for sure.
It was tough. I mean, great performances though, but you can only go so far with the script. So if I was like John Krasinski, I would have definitely hired someone to write the script and just did the screenplay.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, those movies had potential. Knowing the background of each one of them would have been better, or like what kind of character they are, other than John Krasinski as John Krasinski.
Yeah.
So, also making it R-rated. I get it; it was for your family, but dude, you had so much potential there with the R rating, being a horror movie. Maybe do two releases, R-rated, and then.
Something like that, or like I put one on streaming that's R-rated, or like the director's cut,
the ultimate cut.
Yeah, something like that,
where it's more where the kid's head gets cut off.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, the second one was a big like showing of that. People were just getting knocked around when these guys have like almost scythes for hands.
Yeah,
and they're just kind of getting. Oh, I hit a boat.
I'm falling. Oh, I'm flying.
Yeah. Which it was kind of funny to watch, but
it was goofy as hell.
Yeah. So I would agree. Absolutely. Both Quiet Places. Lots of potential. Kind of meh there.
Yeah.
I'll jump with another horror movie because again, I'm just scrolling through. But It Chapter 2.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever felt anything bad about or anything good about Chapter 2.
It sucks. Like the first one is a really good horror movie. A good mainstream horror movie even. Like Stephen King has become like the mainstay of adaptations for horror movies. Like otherwise it's a good horror movie is typically artsy. I feel like Hereditary or Midsommar. But this is like everyone knows who it is. Typically Pennywise from like the old show, read the book or whatever. And the first one's really good. It does well.
It was memed a lot.
I feel like
a movie was good when it's memed a lot.
I mean, honestly. And then the kids did really well. And the cast for It Chapter 2 is really good. Like the James McAvoy, Bill Hader, Jessica Chastain, all great actors. And then it just kind of flopped.
Yeah.
It did do well. I remember seeing opening night. I was really excited and it sucked.
I think it was due to the fact that I think in this one, I think they did the Fast and Furious thing where they're like, okay, we gotta top the first one somehow. So
I could
like,
see that. I did like there was callbacks to the book, which I really liked, like the little monsters that they had whenever they went out for drinks or whatever, and some like little Easter eggs. Like that was cool. But the first one had that too, and they did it better.
I know
So-
I've said this a lot before, but this one actually also feels like an episode of a show.
Oh yeah. I mean I would agree because the original one was a TV miniseries, so that makes sense. And it's a long ass book, so that it makes even more sense.
Do you think they should have made a sequel, or they should have just scrapped this?
It
'Cause I
would
think
have
they should've
been
scrapped
better in my eyes if they just stopped with the first one.
Yeah.
I like that they wanted to continue it, and I liked where their heart was, but in the end, it didn't turn.
They
out.
should have. They should have just moved on.
Yeah.
And stopped banking on it.
Or
'cause
just like went the full like mystical route with it, because like in the books, like Pennywise's arch nemesis is a turtle that's carrying the earth on its back or whatever,
yeah.
and like just go fucking balls to the walls and lean more into that. And they kind of did, like I was saying with the monsters, but it was goofy.
Yeah, they definitely should have done the other characters instead of just following this one, because like they're all grown up and you just don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm not attached to them because I understand they're playing them and they
Yeah.
do a good job still. And I don't know. It's
I think I see what you mean. If they were to make the chapter 2 all over again, I think they should have done with other kids or other people, because like I feel like there's so much that there's so much story behind the it or the clown or whatever, Pennywise, where even in
should have
the
done
previous
the
movie they were like, yeah, this person would take kids or whatever. So
they should have done the orgy scene.
I don't know what that's about, and I don't want
In
to
the
know.
original, in the book, they have an orgy to beat him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just on talking about beating him, like how they beat him in this one is too. Is like, I'm not scared of you, and it's like, I'm like, okay, that's
Oh yeah, it's the whole fear thing.
yeah. And he's
Yeah.
like he turns into like a baby Pennywise.
That's
and
very on the nose.
It's just like
Ooh, fear.
Ooh,
Ooh,
I'm not scared of you. It's like that's
Ooh.
what I would tell my kid if he was scared. Like
Ooh,
yeah.
society.
society, we live in a society.
Oh boy.
But moving on from it, what else you got?
Oh, this one's a Marvel one. I didn't even realize until I just thought about it. New Mutants
Yeah,
could have been so cool. I remember like hearing about it back then. I was like, there was I don't remember who was talking about it, but there were these people talking about it. How it was like this dark
it's gonna be like
Marvel horror style, yeah. And you saw a little bit of trailers for it, and I'm like, this was actually really sick looking. They just got off of Logan, so I kind of have high hopes for the R-rated area of Marvel, and then came out with it, and it's like, wow, this could have been way better,
a lot better.
a whole lot better.
The villain essentially being the doctor or the kid, the girl herself.
The bear,
Yeah, the bear.
demon bear.
Stupid, awful. Should have been Mr. Sinister.
Yeah,
Um,
demon bear was cool, but
and it looked, I will say, pro on that movie, it looked good.
the smiley face people did too.
The magic, Anya Taylor-Joy's character,
Yeah.
like her little pterodactyl thing or whatever, so cool. Loved it.
I didn't even see that coming.
Yeah, I thought that
Yeah.
was so cool.
Yeah,
And there's like, so there are a lot of good things, but there's so many more bad.
yeah. This movie fell apart. And I understand how, or I understand what happened, but they really Warner Brothers it.
Yeah, it's like they contractually had to put it out. They
Well, maybe before that they were just kind of like editing it
Well,
to
no,
change it. And I'm
also,
like,
yeah,
why did you do that?
I think they reshot like everything. They shot like principal photography almost, and they're like, we don't like this. We're starting completely over.
that sucked.
And I really wonder what that original one was.
Release the New Mutants cut,
Yes, please.
the original cut.
Because like out of all of these, since that one's more recently on my mind, I think that one's the most upsetting. I'm like, man, because I remember
Yeah.
I went and saw that on IMAX like whenever Regal reopened the first time. And
Yeah.
I was like, I'm excited to be back in the theater. It's awesome. And it sucked. So
The way I saw it back then, when I heard about it, it was like I didn't see it as any reflection, not reflection, but any sort of copy to any of the other movies. Because one, this is like, okay, horrific. It's a horror genre. It has superhero style characters, or basically superhero characters, and they were in an asylum basically. So when I heard about it, I was like, I'm kind of in tune with this. It's R-rated. They just got off of Logan. Logan looked really good.
It was originally going to be R, but I think the one we saw, it was PG-13.
Yeah.
So
again, had so much potential. It's sad because they basically ended it. I wonder if we're ever gonna get a new one.
I doubt it, dude. I don't know. Time will tell with the X-Men stuff.
And also they had a somewhat of a good twist there where they were like, who do you think she works for?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe Professor X. I was like, sick. If it was actually Professor X.
Or Mr. Sinister, but in the end it's like not, or I don't remember. Like they had a post-credit scene with Antonio Banderas originally, but they were like, no, we're cutting that out. So
yeah.
But moving on, a couple I just kind of want to list off, no particular order. One is Ad Astra, which has Brad Pitt, and it's like visually so beautiful. And literally, I feel like it's a poem about space, but it's a 2-hour movie. And so it kind of falls flat for some people. But like, it was like almost advertised as a new Interstellar, but there wasn't that. So, and
was that done by? No, it wasn't done by. Yeah, it is the same guy. The cinematography. Can't remember. So it's Von something.
I'm gonna look.
Hoyta, I think is his name. His last name.
But yeah, very pretty movie. Another one, and it gets a lot of hate, and I actually really love this movie, is Mother, the Jennifer Lawrence. God, what's the guy's name? Javier Bardem. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but you should totally watch it.
Man, why do I feel like I've seen it?
It got trashed. Everybody hated it.
Why?
And it's because it's weird. And it's actually a really cool allegory for like nature and like Mother Earth and stuff like that. And so artsy. But it's like it messes with your head. But if they just kind of dumbed it down just a little bit, it could have been more well received. And I think that would have been better.
What's Aronofsky?
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I don't know if you will.
I know what you're talking. Yeah, I know what this is. Aronofsky.
Another one, just looking on here, is Alita Battle Angel. It's a pretty movie. It sucked though. So. But otherwise, I'm kind of just looking now at this point. What else do you have? How many more you got?
Just one more, and it's what inspired this segment. Chaos Walking. Yeah. Apparently, post-production, it was really good. Apparently. Okay. The script was great. Screenwriting was great. And then I think it was the studio that was kind of like, no, we don't like that. Make it for kids or for preteens or young adults, I guess.
Okay.
Because there is a book. It's 3 chapters. Not 3 chapters. There are 3 books. Yeah, and apparently it's really good. The name Chaos Walking comes from the whole like thing about males just having their projections and just like having their thoughts projected, basically, and that's what the writer was like. If males did actually have that, it would be Chaos Walking.
Yeah.
So. And this movie had a lot of potential, and I guess that's the reason why Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley signed on to it. I don't think they would have signed it for being how shitty it is.
I mean, we also saw Voyagers, which I'm not going to say had potential. It had Colin Farrell, so that's something. But like that felt like the prequel to this in some kind of way. But Chaos Walking, it's like the idea is there, and like, but so much is like left out, or you're like missing something. It's like, did I have to read the book? And I don't even think you had to.
No.
Another one we could totally tie into this is Devil All the Time.
Oh yeah,
great cast, incredible cast, probably a really good book too. Movie sucked. But back to like Chaos Walking, that did inspire all of this, and I think
there's so much missing in that movie.
Like the aliens, there's like one scene where we like see them, and that's it.
And it looked like it was gonna be big in the movie too.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, that's where they live.
Yeah.
And then we never see it.
And I think this had an original R rating.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
This also pretty decent cast too. I mean, Mads Mikkelsen, Tom Holland, Daisy Ridley.
Yeah. And I'm also assuming that's why Mads signed on. He was just kind of like, oh, this is pretty interesting. Yeah.
And it was also cool to see Daisy Ridley not in Star Wars, because she's actually not the worst actor in the world.
Yeah.
So
if they stuck with the original screenplay, I think this had so much star power that just kind of got wasted.
Yeah.
Unlike, In the Heights didn't barely have any star power. I mean, of course some of these people only probably the fans would know who some of these people are,
Yeah.
like Lin-Manuel Miranda or so it's like people like that. But yeah, also that's another one. That
They
one
d-
had potential. In
That
the Heights.
got like bashed for like race stuff, and I just did not understand why. Like, maybe all like transparency, I may not be educated or whatever, but like I didn't get it. I felt like they represented like well. Like I felt like that talking about like just the Hispanic communities. Yeah, I felt like it was good. I felt represented. I mean, I'm only 25% Mexican. I was like, yeah, heritage. That's really cool. I really like that.
I don't remember what it was. I think it would have to do something with the light skin and dark skin people.
That is something like that. Another one. Just kidding.
I'm not gonna poke that.
But Avengers Endgame. Just kidding. It's a really good comic book movie, but kind of a bad movie.
It was an event. That's all I saw.
Yeah,
it as.
yeah.
I never
did-
once was like, this is gonna be an excellent movie. I've always thought of it
I
as
don't know.
like
I think
it's a good ending to
leading-
whatever this is.
leading in from Infinity War, which I think is an actually really good movie. Yeah. But anyways,
Yeah, that's about it.
that's about it though for our movies that had potential. So let us know down in the comments below. What's a movie that you saw maybe recently? Maybe it came out 40 years ago. I don't know. Maybe you thought The Godfather had potential. But explain why down below, please.
Oh, I know one.
What's that?
Citizen Kane.
Yeah, Citizen Kane had potential. Not very influential. Didn't change much in like the movie industry. Nothing. So
Or Jaws.
yeah, nothing. Did nothing for the
Nope.
movie industry.
Nope.
Um,
Actually, Jaws kind of made it worse.
honestly, you're kind of right. But on that,
Remember when movies were just made for art
yeah,
and
then
entertainment?
Now they're full scale like movie rides.
Yeah, and remember when Disney was like, we don't make movies to make money. We make money to make movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, remember when he said that? Yeah, nah.
not
fuck that.
Not anymore, baby.
We're making money off the movies. We don't give a shit.
So
Example, Fast 9
yeah.
also had a great potential. No, I
Yeah.
didn't.
No, it had a potential to be fun at least, and it just
Yeah.
wasn't.
It was shittier than I'd expected.
Agreed. God, it is hot in here.
You look like you're sweating.
I probably I am.
I feel fine.
I think I was dripped a little earlier. But on that note, like if you enjoyed, comment down below. Like I said, subscribe if you want to see more. Next week, do we have an idea for what we'll do for this?
I guess we'll never know.
We'll figure it out between now and then.
Franchises.
Franchises probably. But yeah, subscribe to see that next week. Thank y'all for watching.
Part 2.
We've been the
next week.
Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
I'm Tom Holland.
That's when. Thank y'all for watching. We love movies. We love y'all. We'll see y'all in the next one. Bye. Nah, you're Ned, bro.
I know I was about to say that. I was literally about to say that. I was like, no, I'm Ned. Fuck
Oh,
that.
God.